All right, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakwadash. Yahweh is who the word inwardly calls God. Yahweh Shai is his son, who the word inwardly calls Jesus Christ, and there's no God beside them. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. This is talking about America. America in the scriptures is known as the virgin daughter of Babylon. Why is she known as the virgin daughter of Babylon? Because everybody was afraid to touch her. But there's going to come a time to where people aren't going to be afraid to touch her. All right, they're not going to be afraid of her military might. All right, which you have in any point in time. You may have a girl that she's untouchable based upon the force that's behind her. But when other people, you can match that force and overcome that force, then you won't be afraid to touch her, right? And America's about due. All right, this place has orchestrated and officiated death, destruction, all right, all across the world, and people are getting tired of it, right? Now, when you look into some things that's going on in the news, right, we see here, well, you know what, let me grab this first. So it says, Navy must speed up shipbuilding modernization to keep pace with China and Russia at sea, analysts say. So it says China and Russia have dramatically accelerated their naval shipbuilding and modernization programs in recent years, while the U.S. has struggled to improve its capacity for warfighting missions and been tagged with a poor readiness rating from national security analysts. Yet and still, she's over there, fucking with Iran. America's over there fucking with Taiwan. They're over there, over there in Ukraine. All right, trying to antagonize Russia, which Iran is a little bro to Russia. So here it is, you're antagonizing all these countries, but you basically, when it comes time for them to leap, so to speak, it's gonna be a rude awakening for you. You're gonna realize that you're not the baddest kid on the block anymore, right? So it says China and Russia have dramatically accelerated their naval shipbuilding and modernization programs in recent years, while the U.S. has struggled to improve its capacity for warfighting missions and been tagged with a poor readiness rating from national security analysts. The Chinese have made particularly notable strides. Their maritime buildup, maritime going into water or the Navy, made global headlines a year ago when Pentagon officials sounded the alarm that Beijing's total fleet of about 350 warships have surpassed the roughly 300 maintained by Washington. And that alone is alarming because here it is, they're advancing in their warship. Meanwhile, America is just maintaining theirs, right? Which it says the American force still vastly outstrips China's in terms of power projection. The U.S. has 11 active aircraft carriers, and China has brought just 2 online since 2012. The Chinese Communist Party, however, makes no secret of its goal to build a world-class military by 2050. U.S. analysts are increasingly wary that Washington will struggle to keep pace with China's rapidly expanding shipbuilding operations. They've got a lot of shipyards and a lot of capacity, said Brent Sadler, a retired U.S. naval officer and analyst with the Heritage Foundation. They're building lots of ships. Mr. Sadler authored the U.S. Navy section of the Heritage Foundation's 2022 Index of U.S. Military Strength, and analysts updated annually. For the second year in a row, the index gave U.S. Sea Service overall scores of marginal and trending toward weak, with a specific naval capacity source of weak. A battle force consisting of 400 manned ships is required for the U.S. Navy to do what is expected of it today, the index concluded. The Navy's current battle force fleet of 297 ships and intensified operation tempo combined to reveal a Navy that is much too small relative to its task. Right? So again, as I mentioned before, here it is. Damn, that sun is on my eyes. Here it is. Slack. Here it is. I don't know if brothers could see me well with this goddamn sun. Here it is. Slakia. Let me either I may have to move over or something. That's crazy. 1 second, Aki. 1 second. Yeah, park over here. Yeah, Slakia. So as I was saying, here it is. You starting fights with everybody, not knowing one day you're gonna meet your match. All right, as I say, every bully has its day. And as I've seen this article, well, actually I ran across this one first off of the Natural News Network, the naturalnews.com. It says, woman admits to falsifying strength test results of steel used to make Navy submarines. Right? And it's fitting that all of this is coming out now at this point in time. All right? So it says a Washington metallurgist pleaded guilty to fraud after 30 years of falsifying results of strength tests on steel used to make Navy submarine hulls. Which I looked up what a hull is, and a hull is nothing more than the skeleton or the body of the submarine. Prosecutors said 67-year-old Elaine Marie Thomas, who previously served as director of metallurgy at a foundry in Tacoma that supplied steel castings to Navy contractors, faked the test results of at least 240 productions of steel from 1985 through 2017. The Department of Justice said the tests were intended to show that the steel would not fail in a collision or in certain wartime scenarios. Manufacturer Bradken acquired the foundry in 2008, according to the indictment, but there was no evidence that the company's management was aware of the fraud until May 2017. At that time, prosecutors say a lab employee discovered that test cards had been altered and that other discrepancies existed in the records. Prosecutors said that the falsified test results represented a substantial percentage of the castings Bradkens produced for the Navy. In 2020, Bradken agreed to pay $10.9 million as part of a settlement. While no hull failure are alleged, failures are alleged, authorities said that the Navy faced increased costs to make certain that the vessels stay seaworthy. All right. So whatever the hell that means, again, they just maintaining it. They just trying to, what I'm saying, keep them afloat, so to speak. Um they not equipped to handle any real war. All right. Which, as the scriptures say, what's that? Isaiah 40. What's that? No, it's Isaiah or Jeremiah. Where it says this war should be fought with burning and fuel of fire. And we gotta remember too how the Lord is going to let Leviathan loose, right? So it says this offense is unique and that it was neither motivated by greed nor any desire for personal enrichment. She regrets that she failed to follow her moral compass. Admitting to false statements is hardly how she envisioned living out her retirement years, he noted. When approached about the fake test results, Thomas told investigators, yeah, that looks bad. And what a grand time for it to come out. At the brink of World War III, what a grand time for that piece of information to come out. So this devil's losing on all fronts. He's losing the information war, Now he's losing a military war. Nobody wants to sign up for this damn devil. All right? And your technology is failing you. Thomas indicated that in some instances she gave false positive results because she believed it was stupid that the Navy required the test to be executed at negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. She's facing up to 10 years in prison. It says spare part problems hobble submarines. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy has swapped more than 1,600 parts among its new Virginia-class submarines since 2013 to ease maintenance bottlenecks, as components that are supposed to last 33 years wear out decades sooner. This move is needed so that vessels in the $166 billion class built by General Dynamics Corp and Huntington Ingalls Industry can return to operations according to data from the Naval Sea Systems Command and the Congressional Budget Office. The 48-ship Virginia class is the pillar of the Navy's undersea strategy into the second half of the 21st century to counter China's growing surface fleet with increasing firepower. The submarines can stalk adversaries underseas with torpedoes and strike surface vessels, or attack land targets with Tomahawk cruise missiles while staying on patrol for months. Brian Clark, a former special assistant to the Chief of Naval Operations, said that the parts problem is a readiness issue that goes with the overall concern that the Navy is not investing enough in maintenance, supply chains, and shipyard infrastructure. The Navy may have been too slow to act on indications that some components were wearing out faster, said Clark. Now a naval analysis with the Hudson Institute. I'm going to read a little more, so on a little more left. Congress has continually pushed the Navy to increase construction rates for the Virginia class from 2 vessels a year to 3. That's going to help them. Actually, it's going to make it worse. Acting Navy Secretary Thomas Harker acknowledged Tuesday, November 9th, at a Senate Armed Service Committee hearing that parts are failing more quickly than originally envisioned. We have to go back and find alternate sources for those parts, he said. And again, you got to deal with China and Russia emerging vessels, as well as the most highest emerging vessel, so to speak, which is Leviathan, right? Can't forget about Leviathan, right? Lord not going to let you forget about him. This is Job chapter 41, verse 1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Right? Without jumping to verse 5, wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they take him among the merchants? Can thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Right? Lay thy hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down, even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? So here's the Most High boasting in his creations, right? Because the Most High has the bone to pick with Babylon, all right? The Most High has a bone to pick with the place that put the apple of his eye in slavery, all right? The scriptures say, what's that, Baruch 4? That the city that took us into slavery, miserable shall they be, right? It says, who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between. They are joined one to another, they stick together that they cannot be sundered. So just as I'm reading, I'm just envisioning the sure fear and power that the Lord is going to bring just through, because, as Esau has an air force and a navy, so does the Heavenly Father. He has the chariots, and then he also has Leviathan. Which, who's to say that's just one creature? It could be multiple Leviathans around the world, man. Which I believe it to be the case, right? Because the Most High always, he's about variety, Out of his mouth goes burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out, Like, I was talking with a brother, and we was talking about that what is that recent what is that Kong versus Godzilla, and when you look at the different the different Godzilla movies, that's a depiction, I would say, of Leviathan. How he had fire coming out of his eyes, big as hell, coming out the sea. Everybody's scared as hell when they see him. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. And his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. So the more you try to afflict him, the easier, how can I put it, the stronger he'll get, so to speak. The Most High is going to destroy you devils, man. It's only right. It's only right. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yet as hard as a piece of a nether millstone. Jumping down, what was the point I really wanted to get? Verse 27. Yeah, I'll read down to 27, 28, maybe 29. His heart is as firm as a stone, yet as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. what is that? Oh, the body armor. The javelin, perhaps a lance or javelin. He esteemeth iron as a straw and brass as rotten wood. You know, he esteemeth iron as straw and brass as rotten wood. You know, but as we see, them submarines was be down there in the deep. They're not even as strong as iron, man. They're not even as strong as steel, as they said. You know, so either way you put it, your ass is done. The arrow cannot make him flee slingshots. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. Right? So your ass is grass. Esau, your ass is grass, man. Reading on in this other article, where was I? It says, with regard to capability, the index said the Navy's technological edge is narrowing against peer competitors China and Russia. The combination of a fleet that is aging faster than old ships are being replaced and the rapid growth of competitor navies with modern technologies does not bode well for U.S. naval power, the index said. Mr. Sadler told the Washington Times in an interview that a lack of ships is the most obvious reason for the poor rating. He suggests that the U.S. can reverse downward trends in capacity and capability, but not without cost. If you put the demand out to build more ships quicker, that will force capital investment in the shipyards to have a larger workforce and a larger capacity, which we will need, you know? And that's going to present a problem because people are quitting. People with these prestigious jobs that build, you know what I'm saying, these naval ships, you know, people that fly the Esau's plane in the Air Force, guess what? They walking off the job because they're not trying to take the juice. So either way you look at it, Esau, you already checkmated, man. Although debates about Pentagon budgets are already biting, the bottom line, Mr. Sadler said, is that U.S. political leaders need to get serious about making significant investments in Navy capacity over the coming years. The 2022 Index of U.S. military strength put it more bluntly, depending on the Navy's ability to fund more aggressive growth options and service life extensions, its capacity score could be lower in the next edition. Mr. Sadler wrote in the index. You see, so it's a pretty lengthy article, but that was pretty much the point, man. These devils, man, they going down. Right? I probably put it in the article. I mean, in the description box of this video. You know, brothers want to land back or just read it for themselves. Right? But it says, back at Isaiah 47:2, take the millstone, grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. You know, Yahweh Shai is coming to meet Esau Edom in them chariots, as it says in Revelations 12. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hands. Thou didst shew them no mercy, upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid the yoke. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. You know? So now the Most High is about to come and see what the hell Esau is doing with his people. You know? Why are those cries going up so fervently for us to get us out of this place? You know? Hey, so if that, Lord willing, I can edify, shalom to the elect.